あっそうそれにしても早すぎんだろ。術式頼りの守りに回ったな。
The anime world is loaded with all sorts of genres, but let's be real, the action genre totally rules the game. These days, action anime isn't just for young boys anymore. It's got mad appeal across the board. But the best action anime aren't just about those jaw-dropping fight scenes and epic combat systems. Nah, good action series hit hard with deep human themes, killer character arcs, and a setting that feels fresh and exciting. Plus, they throw in plot twists that keep fans on their toes, guessing what's going to happen next as the action goes down. So whether you're a newbie or a seasoned vet, there's always something to hype about in the world of action anime. 2014, Attack on Titan, No Regrets. It's a dope anime that perfectly mixes intense action, solid character growth, and some heavy themes about freedom and humanity. It's set in a world where humans are just trying to survive against these huge humanoid monsters called Titans. The story follows Eren Yeager and his crew as they dig up dark secrets and fight against oppression. The animation is fire, and the epic battles keep you on the edge of your seat, while the emotional stuff and moral dilemmas hit you right in the feels. With all the crazy plot twists and killer world building, Attack on Titan is a series that leaves a mark. I had a blast jumping back into this world and getting the lowdown on my favorite character, Captain Levi, and what made him join the Survey Corps. The story itself was pretty compact, and I flew through these 2 volumes super fast. It was hella entertaining, and the character development for Levi was on point. Captain Levi is such a sick character. He's got that cold, practical vibe, but shows a soft side now and then. Dude cares a lot about his friends, and is all about taking down Titans to save humanity. Watching his first Titan battle was epic. He's just a beast at it. 2015, Gintama Season 4, Gintoki, Shinpachi, and Kagura were back in action as the fun-loving but totally broke crew of the Yorozuya team. They chilled in an alternate reality Edo, where swords were a no-go and aliens called the shots. Just trying to hustle through life, they picked up whatever gigs they could find, but guess what? Shinpachi and Kagura were still waiting on their paychecks. Seriously, did Ginchan just blow all their cash on pachinko or what? One night, after Gintoki stumbled home wasted, an alien spaceship crash-landed nearby. A fatally injured crew member crawled out and handed Gintoki this funky clock-shaped device, warning him it was super powerful and needed to be protected. But in classic Gintoki fashion, he mistook it for his alarm clock and wrecked it the next morning. He was shocked to find that the whole world outside his apartment had frozen. With Kagura and Shinpachi tagging along, Gintoki set off to get the device fixed. But of course, nothing ever went smoothly for the Yorozuya crew. Packed with witty humor and some real feels, Gintama's 3rd season had Gintoki and his friends diving into their most hilarious misadventures and wildest crises yet. 2016, Kizumonogatari Part 2, Nekketsu 1st season of the Monogatari series Part 3-6. This one featured the Koyomi vamp arc from the Kizumonogatari light novel. In the spring of his 2nd year of high school, Koyomi Araragi met the stunning vampire, Kiss Shot Acerola Orion Heart Under Blade. Koyomi swooped in and saved Kiss Shot when she was on the brink of death, with all 4 of her limbs chopped off. But of course, there was a catch. He became her minion and turned into a vampire himself. If you want to go back to being human, you gotta take back all of Kiss Shot's limbs, she told him. After getting some solid advice from Mimo Shino, the supernatural expert, Koyomi geared up for battle. He was up against 3 wicked vampire hunters: Dramaturgy, this giant dude who was a vampire himself; Episode, a half-vampire rocking an enormous cross; and Guillotine Cutter, a quiet dude who was a pro at slaying vampires. Could Koyomi manage to snag Kiss Shot's limbs back from these vampire hunters? As the soft spring rain fell, the curtain rose on this epic bloodbath. (2017) Gintama Season 5. After teaming up with the resistance against the Bakufu, Gintoki and the crew were in hiding, chillin' with Katsura and his Jui rebels. But soon enough, the Yorozuya got a visit from Nobume Imai and a couple of members from the Kiheitai. They broke it down. The Harusame pirates had flipped on 7th Division Captain Kamui and their former buddy, Takasugi. The Kiheitai hit Gintoki up with a job. He had to track down Takasugi, who had been MIA since his ship got ambushed in a Harusame raid. Nobume also dropped a bombshell about the Tendoshu, a secret squad pulling the strings behind a bunch of factions, and their boss, Utsuro, who looked super sketchy and was a dead ringer for Gintoki's old teacher. So they hitched a ride on Sakamoto's spaceship and took off to Rakuyo, Kagura's home turf, where all the factions were gathering and tensions were off the charts. Long-standing grudges, political drama, and the Tendoshu's shady master plan all came to a head in a massive, no-holds-barred showdown on Rakuyo. 2018, Dragon Ball Super Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly is a lit addition to the Dragon Ball saga, diving deep into Broly's backstory, one of the craziest Saiyans out there. The flick kicks off 41 years back on planet Vegeta, where King Vegeta, voiced by Christopher Sabat, finds out about his kid Prince Vegeta's rival, Broly. Feeling all kinds of jealous and threatened, King Vegeta straight up orders Broly's exile. This wild move sparks a whole chain reaction that leads to some serious tragedy for Broly and his pops, Paragus, Damon Clark, who's out for revenge against Vegeta. Their wild journey starts on this barren rock called Vampa, where Paragus has to make some ruthless calls just to survive. Zooming to the present, Goku, Sean Skemmel, and Vegeta, Sabat, are grinding in training when Bulma, Monica Rail, finds out that Frieza, Christopher Ayers, has jacked the Dragon Balls. They gotta hurry and snag the last one before Frieza can snatch it. Meanwhile, Broly's been chilling on Vampa, living in some brutal conditions under his dad's control. The movie introduces Chilai, Erica Lindbeck, and Lemo, Bruce Carey, two Frieza Force scouts who stumble on Broly and Paragus and realize Broly's got some insane potential as a warrior. Frieza, being the sneaky villain he is, wants to use Broly against Goku and Vegeta. In a thrilling Arctic showdown, the two Saiyans go up against Broly, who's leveled up into a beast of an opponent. Even with their Super Saiyan God forms, Goku and Vegeta struggle against Broly's non-stop power. The film does a dope job balancing intense action with that classic Dragon Ball humor, keeping it fun while the characters tackle their challenges. Things escalate quickly when Frieza throws Paragus under the bus, triggering Broly's rage and turning him into a Super Saiyan. Goku and Vegeta realize they gotta fuse to keep up with Broly's insane power, so they give the fusion dance a shot. Their hilarious fails add a lighthearted twist to the tense vibe. Eventually, they nail it and become Gogeta, the fusion everyone's been hyped about. The animation during these battles is stunning, with smooth moves and vibrant colors that take the action to a whole new level. In a shocking turn, just when Gogeta starts to take control, Chilai uses the Dragon Balls to wish for Broly's safety, zapping him back to Vampa before he gets taken down. This moment adds some depth to the flick, hitting on themes of friendship, redemption, and the tough choices the characters face. The film wraps up with Goku dropping by Vampa to offer Broly his friendship and a chance to train, really hammering home the series' vibes of growth and camaraderie. Goku's choice to help Broly shows that even the most powerful beings can change for the better. Dragon Ball Super Broly isn't just another action flick. It breathes new life into the franchise by giving us a fresh storyline while keeping the legacy of its characters intact. The movie blends humor, action, and feels like a champ, making it a must-watch for both die-hard fans and newcomers. It's a thrilling ride that enriches the Dragon Ball universe and sets the stage for future adventures. 2019, Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is straight up one of the dopest anime series to drop in recent years. Adapted from Makoto Yukimura's manga, which hit the scene back in 2005 and got its anime glow-up in 2019, this show slaps with a killer mix of historical fiction and Norse mythology. It doesn't just throw down with action-packed episodes, it keeps you glued to your seat, making it a binge-watch goldmine. What really sets Vinland Saga apart is its unpredictability and insane depth. The character designs? Fire. The visuals? Stunning. The fight scenes? Absolute carnage with gore that hits hard. This series nails the brutal reality of war, all while keeping it grounded in history. And let me tell you, the dialogue is beautifully crafted, making the storytelling pop. If you're all about those intense narratives, you gotta check this show out. The story kicks off with Thors, the dad of our main dude, Thorfinn. Thors is fed up with serving his king and the never-ending wars, so he decides to bounce, literally jumping ship. He dips to Iceland with his wife and their newborn daughter, Ylva, who's Thorfinn's older sis. But guess what? His past ain't done with him yet. Askeladd, a total savage, hunts him down and puts an end to his life in a tragic twist. And just like that, Thorfinn's revenge story begins. After watching his pops get murked, little Thorfinn swears vengeance. Armed with a short sword from Thor's, he sneaks onto Askeladd's ship, ready to throw down with the seasoned warrior. Askeladd, low-key impressed by Thorfinn's guts, tells him to train up before they fight. And just like that, Thorfinn's quest for revenge kicks off at the tender age of 6, rolling with Askeladd and his crew of mercs for the next 11 years. As Thorfinn grows up, his one-track mind for revenge turns him into the very monster his dad tried to save him from. Thors had dropped wisdom like, "You don't have enemies," but Thorfinn's path is all about taking down anyone who crosses him. His dad's words, "A true warrior doesn't need a sword," feel empty as Thorfinn goes hard, mastering dual-wielding swords. This narrative isn't about sugarcoating life. It shows the gritty reality. The characters are all about that suffer-no-fools vibe, setting Vinland Saga apart from the typical shonen shows that preach positivity and good vibes. The plot stays rooted in its historical backdrop, offering a ruthless perspective that can hit you hard, sometimes heavier than other series like Berserk or Game of Thrones. There's no fantasy shield to soften the brutal truths. Morality gets all twisted up with no clear good or bad. This savage lens serves as a reminder that reality can be way harsher than any fantasy world. While the historical nods are cool, the real heart of Vinland Saga is in its sick character development. The writing is top-notch, letting you vibe with the characters, even the antagonists, who are layered enough to have their own backstories. Vinland Saga doesn't shy away from the brutality of life. Instead, it finds beauty in the struggle. At its core, the series digs into themes of loss, betrayal, and the battle between who you are and who shapes you. It's about a son who strays from the path his father fought to keep him on, a mom let down by the kid she raised, and a priest showing hard-nosed Vikings the real deal about love. Vinland Saga isn't just a war story, it's an emotional roller coaster that hits deep with its audience. 2020, Jujutsu Kaisen. Hardship, regret, shame, those pesky negative vibes we all feel turn into curses that haunt our daily grind. These curses are like shadows, running wild in the world, leading peeps down a dark path of misfortune and even death. But here's the kicker. The only way to exorcise these curses is by bringing in another curse. Meet Itadori Yuji, a dude blessed with insane physical strength, but he's just living that basic high school life. Everything flips when he jumps in to save his buddy from a nasty curse attack. In a wild move, he munches on the finger of the double-faced specter, letting that curse crash into his soul. From that moment, he's sharing his body with this terrifying curse. Under the guidance of the baddest sorcerer around, Goju Satoru, Itadori gets accepted into the Tokyo Metropolitan Technical High School of Sorcery, a squad that's all about battling those curses. And just like that, Itadori's epic journey kicks off. He's a boy who turned into a curse to take down other curses, and there's no turning back now. 2021, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment District Arc. A new-gen anime and a supposed part of the new Big Three, along with My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer has gained immense popularity among readers in recent years. Season 2 of Demon Slayer dropped on Netflix. The animation was fire, with a bold red and orange palette that highlighted Kyojuro Rengoku, the flame Hashira. Titled Mugen Train, this season followed our crew on a mission to take down a demon causing chaos on the train. The plot had us all hooked. At first, it seemed like the demons Kyojuro dispatched were the main baddies, but the twist came when our heroes were trapped in an endless sleep, courtesy of Lower One, who crafted their wildest dreams only to turn them into nightmares right before they kicked the bucket. 4 kids were sent to puncture their spiritual core while they slept, but of course, Tanjiro busted out of that illusion by sacrificing himself in the dream. With help from his sister Nezuko and the crew, They woke up just in time for an epic showdown. Tanjiro and Inosuke took on Lower One, and the battle was nail-biting. Every time Tanjiro was lulled back to sleep, we held my breath, praying he wouldn't bite the dust for real. Thankfully, Inosuke yanked him back to reality, and they managed to take down the demon. But wait, there's more. Just when we thought it was over, a stronger demon, Akaza, the upper three of the 12 Kazuki, crashed the party. Kyojuro helped Tanjiro stop the bleeding from a nasty wound, then turned his attention to Akaza for an emotional showdown. Akaza offered to turn Kyojuro into a demon to spare him from death, but Kyojuro refused, clinging to his humanity even as he faced a fatal blow. As the sun rose, Akaza made a desperate escape, but not before Tanjiro shouted after him, calling him a coward and honoring Kyojuro's strength. I was a total mess, tears flowing. Kyojuro's final words to Tanjiro, "Set your heart ablaze," hit hard as he passed away. The season wrapped up, leaving me utterly moved. The animation was top-notch, and the storyline kept me on my toes, begging for more. We wholeheartedly recommended Season 2 to fans of the series. And for newbies, you need to jump on this train. It'll keep you glued to the screen and have you admiring the stunning visuals, just like I did. 2022, Thousand Year Blood War. Was it all just a coincidence, or was it inevitable? Ichigo Kurosaki stumbled into his Soul Reaper powers like it was just another Tuesday. This dude, now a substitute Soul Reaper, found himself knee-deep in the chaos of the Soul Society, the ultimate hangout for deceased souls. But with his ride-or-die squad backing him up, Ichigo smashed through every obstacle, leveling up like a champ. When a bunch of new Soul Reapers and a wicked new enemy popped up in his hometown of Karakura, Ichigo went all in, wielding his Zanpakuto like a boss to help anyone in trouble. Meanwhile, the Soul Society got shook, witnessing a crazy spike in hollows getting wrecked in the world of the living. To top it off, they started hearing whispers about folks in the Rukun district going MIA. Just when they thought things couldn't get crazier, the Seireitai, the Soul Reaper's crib, got hit hard by a squad calling themselves the Wandenreich. These cats, led by Yewok, the OG of all Quincy's, rolled in and declared war on the Soul Reapers with a savage message. In 5 days, the Soul Society will get wiped out by the Wandenreich. The secrets and history the Soul Reapers had kept under wraps for 1,000 years finally got dragged into the light. Now, everything built up to Ichigo Kurosaki's epic showdown. It was the final battle, and it was bound to be legendary. 2023, Vinland Saga Season 2. After his father's death and the total wreckage of his village by English raiders, Einar yearned for a peaceful life with his family on their newly rebuilt farms. But fate had other plans. His village faced another brutal invasion. Einar stood there, helpless, as the marauding Danes torched his lands and slaughtered his family. They captured him, dragging him back to Denmark as a slave. Clinging to his mother's last words, Einar fought to survive. He was sold to Kettle, a surprisingly kind slave owner and landlord who promised that Einar could earn his freedom by toiling in the fields. Soon, Einar met his new farming partner, Thorfinn, a brooding and despondent slave who had seen too much darkness. Together, they toiled for freedom, haunted by their past sins and the scheming of the present. Yet, they pressed on, grasping for a sliver of hope, redemption, and peace in a world that was anything but just and forgiving. 2024, Solo Leveling. They said whatever didn't kill you made you stronger, but that was definitely not the case for the world's weakest hunter, Sung Jinwoo. After getting brutally slaughtered by monsters in a high-ranking dungeon, Jinwoo made a shocking comeback, this time with the system, a mysterious program only he could see, leveling him up in every possible way. Fueled by newfound power, he was hell-bent on uncovering the secrets behind his abilities and the dark dungeons that spawned them. With each challenge he faced, Jinwoo transformed from the underdog into a force to be reckoned with, ready to take on the world that had once tossed him aside.